Hey guys, how's it going? It's April 22nd, 2020. Just wanted to do a quick video. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to really have time tonight. I'm going to try to get things moving, but, you know, at most it'll be a 1 hour stream, if that, because we usually have plans at 8. My son comes down usually before then. So I gotta get myself supper ready. I just got home in the doors. It's like 6:33 right now, and turns out that I have to do a couple of dishes, or else I'm not going to be able to do it. So I kind of wish I just ate out tonight, but I've been eating out quite a bit lately. So I wanted to just, if you haven't seen this already, just a direction where we're heading. It's a fairly long article, and you can go to railroadtransportationsimulator.fandom.com in the forum section. This is a post that, and this is where I still post quite a bit of information. It was mainly a Run 8 site that I had for the original RTS. I'm still using it. Although I'm not doing anything in Run 8 at this time. I certainly still monitor it, but my main project now is obviously Trains Railroad Simulator 19 and the Niagara project. I'm not even into getting other routes right now. I certainly get other content as far as engines, scenery, stuff that makes operations better, etc. But this is a thread right now where the latest thread, and it started probably April 13th with Niagara, the journey, how it's continued, and it's just basically a blog. So I just wanted to go over this in case, I know a lot of you guys don't go to this. Again, you can always go to railroadtransportationsimulator.fandom.com. And it used to be .wikia.com, but it automatically redirects to .fandom.com. So in this particular thread 22381, but you'll see this in the forum. Basically, you can read this as it's going here. We did the chemical lead last night, or started getting to that. So we got a lead in there now, but just to spice things up and to keep things going, I don't want to just focus on one area and get bored of it or get tired of it. Although it would be much more, how would you say? It would be much more efficient if I continue to do one thing, or be able to just plot out a whole whack of cells in Google Earth, for example. I was even saying this to my son last night. I like to bounce back and forth to spice things up. The same thing will happen when I get into the sessions. So I'm going to be having, anyways, tonight I'm going to be having supper in another, get ready 10 minutes or whatever. And I'm just gonna relax for this evening. Probably not do anything. I'll take a night off. I don't think I've taken a night off from, and this isn't a night off because I'm burnt out. Believe me, I was looking forward to doing this tonight. So I'm, a little disappointed in that, but that's okay. It's okay to have a good night, because then tomorrow I'll be just as excited to get into it, and maybe my son will be interested and well. And if not, I'll do a little bit tonight before I go to bed. So we got. I'm going to turn my attention back to Toronto now. So I'm going to play around with the initial elevation. I say tonight. Of course, this is going to may happen tonight. I'll probably go into it maybe just before 8 o'clock to take a look around and do some things off stream. So I'll definitely do that. So I won't take a total break. I'm probably going to get into it because I'm going to want to get my fingers into it tonight at some point. So fat chance I'm going to be avoiding it. So I love it. I honestly love this that much. Seriously. It reminds me of the days that I was heavily invested into RTS and Run 8 in the beginning. And, you know, I've got a lot to build. I was even thinking about doing the main line of Niagara Falls. I don't think I'm going to go that far. That's a little too ambitious, I think, personally. I don't need to. It's not that important for me to have a long running main line or anything like that anyway. Um, so yeah, I said I was going to have time tonight between 6 and 8 a.m. to do a live stream focusing on modifications in the Toronto area. That isn't going to happen. That'll probably happen a little bit off camera tonight. It'll eventually be my weekly operations. I'm looking at my weekly operation schedule as well, and that changes day per day as well. For example, like on a Sunday, I will probably either be in the midst of building the trains or getting prepared to hump them. And that'll happen likely on Sunday night, because when I hump the yard, basically it's totally automated. I don't, everything's already emptied. All I have to do is run the hump, let it sort through, and I can do things like dishes, like I got to do a little bit tonight, and I can clean up around the house while it's going, get some stuff done. So I'm basically starting from scratch approach to Toronto. I don't like the position it's at. I don't like the rough curves. I want to have a drill track, and I also want to have an area in there so that I can develop industries that are loaded, so that they load with the proper things without me having to go in and load the cars, and then I can tag the cars right away, etc. I said I had two choices. I can continue the scenery further down to Niagara Falls and give it more of a mainline run. I think that's too ambitious. I probably won't. Or I can make a gradual left-hand turn into a staging area. Now that I think about it, I might just expand further northeast and see where I wind up on the curve. I don't think so. The more I thought about that later, I thought to myself, I want to scenic all that, and personally, since this is going to be the first time I do scenery coming up really soon, I don't think it's worth it. I think it's better to just do whatever freelance design I want past that point. That way there's no restrictions. Once it gets into that staging, there's not going to be any scenery underneath. It's just going to be, I'll have signals, and I'll have working signals because I'm going to operate it. I'm going to operate it like a model railroad board, basically, and it might not be just one. I might put it in 2 boards or 4 boards or something like that. Probably 2 boards. And yeah, I'm just gonna. I think Toronto already is like 4 boards long or something like that. But yeah, I'm more than happy to do it. I got some ideas. I want to play around with. I actually want to play around with the. What do you call it? I've got some pretty nifty ideas that I want to try out in regards to the height differentials and stuff like that. So you'll see what I mean. I've got some pretty cool ideas. So I think I would much rather have some fun getting into some of those skills, and I can do some testing. So, yeah, there's going to be a Lubrizol industry in this area that I'll have a local come in and switch. So I'll kind of have an operation to it, but it's not going to be necessarily an operation that I'm going to be running trains to and operating. What it is, the main purpose of it is to make sure I have all the cars that I need loaded immediately. I'm not waiting around. I'm not going to have cars sitting in an industry and coming back the next day. Everything's going to be assembled together. Then they're going to be set up towards the hump. And the hump, I'm actually looking at doing a double track hump, just like Toronto. I won't have nearly as many trucks, not even close to as many tracks. I may expand to 7 tracks, possibly 10, go a 5-5 ladder. It's possible, but I will have a double track hump by the looks of it, and actually the loop, that main loop that's going to be around, it's going to be an oval, so I won't have to worry about the dummy signals either. It's going to be an oval where you basically run around. I got some wacky ideas that I want to try, so between tonight and tomorrow, I think my son's going to enjoy this too, because then we can get into. But I'm going to get the actual hump down at least, and then because he gets impatient about that, and focus on the fun stuff afterwards. So I'm looking forward to getting into that, to be honest. So I'm going to get my butt moving, but it's going to be off camera. Um, so yeah, I'm not going to go. I don't want to go past. I didn't want to go past Clifton anyways, and it's too soon. I just have way too much. I don't want to get into the Go Transit, the Amtrak, and all that other stuff. Uh, so it's going to have a, yeah. See, it's talking about the 360-degree oval, similar to a stock car track. That's what I'm thinking. But I have some ideas there. So they're either going to be spawned or manually. So there's a lot of ways it's going to happen. They're either going to be spawned by hand or moved into place by human switching or by AI. All this will totally depend on how much time I have in the 24-hour schedule. This 24-hour schedule is going to be important. What's going to happen with my operations, as I said, Sundays is going to be the probably the overnight period, or the, yeah, likely an overnight period, which means I'm gonna have I'll have to get the lighting the way I want it. I'm not too worried. That's why everything's going to be set up so that the cars are in place. I might even, hopefully, if the engine cars doesn't like the cars themselves, then hopefully I'll have some automobiles or something that's going to shine some light on these cars. As long as I get to see them, I'm not going to change the environmental settings, but it's going to be a nighttime operation on Sundays. Through the night, things are going to get built, and I'll have two strings. That's why I'm going to have the dual hump. So if you're potentially building 10,000 cars, you might have 4,000 feet, not 10,000 cars, 10,000 feet. You'll have 4,000 feet in two double tracks ready to go. So I'll have two sets of switchers ready to go. After the one humps, the other guy will go out, and then the other guy will be ready to take the switch. So, like I said, looking forward to that for sure. And it'll bring the capacity past the 10,000 mark, like the real day 421. I can concentrate building the rest. After that, I can concentrate on building the rest of the chemical lead this weekend. Get that going. Hopefully we get the chemical lead done. I'd like to get it functional. Hopefully, I can't see why I can't get every track in there. And once it's operational, I'll begin the operations test and build a hump schedule for Sunday and Sunday night. Monday is looking like a day I will already have started switching 421, and that will continue every Monday moving forward. So Mondays are going to be like the morning, the morning hours where 421 comes in and is breaking down at Port Robinson. And of course, those will be a big chunk of my 24-hour schedule. We're looking at potentially. It could be as much as 7 on a Sunday, if not more. There's going to be lots of hours on a Sunday, I think. Once things, this COVID-19 situation settles down, there'll be less because we're going to be doing things. And of course, when we take vacations or holidays, things might have to differ slightly, but, it's understandable. My next goal is to extend the main line up to the Welland River just south of Port Robinson. That's all I need to go. It's not that far. And starting to paint the scenery ground cover to eventually remove the base maps, because that is the goal, to get, I have to get rid of those base maps before I can do elevation changes. And I'm hoping to have major scenery development by next weekend started as I continue to operate as well. So the operations are going to continue to go in. So on a typical, say, a Tuesday, I might be taking some of the switchers or what have you, or I might be working on things, and I might be working on things with my son if he wants to do that. If he doesn't, that's not a big deal. But I will have plenty of time by myself. I can tell you this right now: if my son's not interested in doing any of that, or if it becomes too repetitive or boring for him, that's not a problem. Uh, the operations, I intend to try and do 24 hours worth of operations a week. So, given a typical Sunday could have as many as seven, a typical Tuesday could have, I could be up to probably another four, maybe five. We'll lowball it and say six, 10, maybe 12 hours. That'll get me through all the way to 12 noon. So by Tuesday, I will have 2 hours on Tuesday night available. I'll have another 2 hours. Actually, I'll have more than 2 hours on a typical Wednesday. A typical Wednesday for me usually should easily give me 3 to 4 hours. Let's say three. So, now we're up to 17 hours. Thursday, another two, bringing me up to 19. So somewhere in there, I'm going to have to get an hour in or two, but I usually have that ability to do that because my son's not always with me on a weekend. I don't see any reason why I can't get it to 24 hours, even if it's just running some AI as I go about doing things. I don't see why it's not possible, and that's the thing. A lot of this stuff, eventually, there's going to be a lot of AI involved, especially stuff that the AI is capable of doing. And I'm looking forward to testing some of those theories the next coming days, because I want to see what I can get it set up AI. I've seen AIs operate humps, trim yards, do all kinds of amazing things. So um, I want to be able to. If you know me from Run 8, I push everything to its limits. I will push this to its limits. The good part here is we're not dealing with as many trains, so I think it's doable. If I don't quite get it 24 hours, maybe I'll take a break every now and then and just run the clock a little bit while I watch a YouTube or do something else, and pretend I'm taking a break, which I am. Let the clock move a little bit. I have a weather mod in there right now. I've got all kinds of things. So, anyways, that's about it. I just wanted to show you guys that. Always keep up to here. If you don't see me on YouTube, I always post a blog post here in the forums. So, and if you have any comments, obviously you can post to the YouTube when they go up. You can post comments. I'll answer to them. But Railroad Transportation Simulator.fandom.com is the website, and you do not have to be a member to post. You can post anonymously. That's not a big deal. So that's it for now, guys. Looks like I'm the only one here, or by the looks of it. So as far as closed captioning, I don't know what's up with that, or to try to get the language support. I will try my best to try to figure that out. I haven't yet. I just haven't got around to it. So but that's it for now for tonight. We will see you tomorrow. Probably, I don't know if it'll be Thursday. Somewhere between 6 and 8, but if not, you will see me, and that's a good thing. Is I will have that time when I see my son if he's interested, and I will have that time between 9 and 11 on a Thursday where I will definitely have time to do these things. Okay, so that's it for now, and I'll be back on tomorrow night. Should be no problem. Have a good one. Take care.